Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of GeekVerse Podcast. I am one of your hosts, the shapeshifter Taylor Field, and I'm joined by
I am the man of many faces, Kirkland Patzer.
yes, and we are continuing our trek into the DCU with Creature Commandos Episode 5. Before we get into that, a couple of plugs. You can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast on our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. Be sure to check us out on the Patreon, where you can get ad-free exclusive early episodes, including a whole bunch of the Superman refilm, Supergirl, and Superman Returns in celebration and the lead up to the new Superman movie that is going to be dropping. So tons of DC stuff. Go check it out. Aside from that, we got our Patreon producers we need to shout out here. You guys are fantastic. Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Mud, Sam, Superbad, Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, and Charlie Randall. You folks are amazing. Thank you very much for everything that you do. This is going to be like a jam-packed end of the year kind of weekend because we've got, like we're talking about tonight, Creature Commandos, we've got Star Wars Skeleton Crew, and then we have Dexter. Whole bunch of other reviews that are coming there, and then we've done, you and me did a Nosferatu review as well yesterday, so lots of stuff. And I think Dylan's doing his Game of the Year side quest with you. That's sneaking in there too, so...
Plus, I kind of forgot What If has been just releasing throughout this Christmas period. Have you been watching those? Because I definitely have not been watching those. Okay.
No, but I know we have to do something about it because Travis mentioned it. So, but I think there's 5 episodes left at this point.
Yeah,
so
I think it ends on the 29th, so a couple days left here. But I mean, they're shorter episodes, so it is pretty easy binge model. But when I booted up Disney Plus to watch Skeleton Crew earlier, I was just like, holy fuck, right? Forgot about that show. It's been a busy holiday. It's been a good holiday so far, but definitely a busy one.
So that's something you can definitely stay tuned for as well, because I can't guarantee that'll be like a before the new year kind of thing, because we're powering through, and we, no promises. I'll leave it at that. But there's lots of other stuff you can search up on our feeds and stay tuned for and check out lots and lots of good stuff. So go to our channels. Kirkland, what did you think? And I always forget if we do non-spoilers and then spoilers with this because they're shorter episodes, but whatever you want to
try my
steer
best.
us in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try my best to avoid some spoilers here. Episode 5, Creature Commandos. We're getting pretty close to the end because if I'm not mistaken, it's only 7 episodes total. I know we mention this every single week, but as you're listing off in our intro there, we do have a lot of things going on. So I get forgetful in just the different shows and what the lengths of them are. But I feel like personally this was a bit of not a disappointing episode, but I think I was just wanting more for it. It very much feels like just kind of a half step up in just building off of I think what was hinted off of last week. What's going on?
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised. I thought you were going the other way with it.
Yeah, no, I think it has some good stuff in here. It's just like the plot things that I was excited to really get into after last week. I think we just really didn't do much with it. It's just like, well, yeah, next week we'll get there, the old subverting expectations of us thinking that we'll be getting the answers here and not so much. So I'm curious if you felt the same way, but no, I still think there is some really good stuff in here. I am enjoying the overall substance of what's happening. I think we got a little bit more backstory stuff with a certain character that, I don't know, I do like this character, but just the more backstory stuff with them I get, I think it just really solidifies the one-dimensionalness of what the character is, which is fine. It's if that's the character, that's the way that it's written, that's totally fine. But I just find, I don't know, I would rather be spending some, especially with the flashbacks, because we do have like a full kind of crew to really flesh out their backstories. I think there's just more interesting ones, but. I don't know. It's still maybe a necessary thing to show here, but overall there is still some good stuff in here. It's still a good, solid time. I think some reveals that happened in here were really fun, and it's a good time. It's just maybe coming off of last week that I was really riding a high coming into this one. I was just maybe a little bit. Yeah, just wanting a little bit more on the plot side of things, but there's still some like really wild mature level content of like violence in this episode. There's some real brutal things that happen. But yeah, no, it's it would give me at least, it would still get a thumbs up from me. I guess I'll say that in my last little closing thoughts there. But yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a hook for me, and I feel like this show, every episode that I've been watching since that first one, it's just been kind of bringing me up and up and up more and more, and just been more hyped on this show. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad that it's kind of turned around for me. I thought that there was a lot of stuff that was really fun. Yeah, it was very, very gory and very brutal, but there was a lot of things that I was just really, really jiving with. One character in particular is just kind of cracking me up because they're just kind of really daft. It just that kind of innocent humor is my kryptonite. It works for me. I really, really like it. We got a cool reveal in here too that I'm really excited to talk about, and I feel like that's pretty big for things to come, I guess. But yeah, I think that it was just another great self-contained episode. It didn't go too crazy or off the rails, and for 20 something minutes I felt like this was a lot longer in a good way, and by the time it ended I was like, man, I really would like a little bit more, because I feel like, okay, we got a cliffhanger here and I want to see where we're gonna go next. So I think the show's really, really doing good for me. I really like it, and I'm having a great time with it.
Nice.
Yeah. uh, so we're gonna switch over to spoilers now, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where do we go spoiler wise?
Where do we go spoiler wise? Yeah, I think the thing that I was alluding to in my overall thoughts is I was just expecting us to get like the full on clash of Flag and the other creature commandos in this episode, just revolving
Mm.
around the princess. And I don't know, like I definitely, I'm not gonna say this was like a waste of an episode, because we do get some good stuff in here. We get some really intense combat between like the creature commandos and the princess's guards, and just the military. So all that stuff was good, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that because of the amount of episodes that we have, and I did confirm it is 7, so that's we're getting pretty darn close to
We're
the
getting
end here.
close.
Um, so yeah, just with how little amount of time we have left, it felt like maybe I didn't need this like in between episode, but we'll see how it feels in the end, and if there is just certain areas I might have really preferred them to to shift some of the focus. But yeah, as of right now, that's kind of how I feel. Because like there is still some good juice of Frankenstein and Flag, like discovering Clayface. I like that whole reveal there. We get like an Xbox usage in here
That
that
was
that like tripped
crazy.
me out. Yeah.
Mortal
um,
Kombat.
yeah, that was really cool to see on screen there. But yeah, no. So although I did like all that, I guess I'm just that excited to see that eventual clash. So they're doing a good job at, I guess, building up that suspense. But I just want it now. I'm just a glutton. I just want it.
Well, I almost thought that, okay, did Flag get actually killed in this episode? Because I mean, I don't feel like anyone's technically safe in this show. Because I'm
Yeah,
assuming GI Robot is technically like done skis. He's not coming back. At least that's how I
yeah.
feel.
He's been pretty quiet. Feel like I'm getting less confident that they'll be bringing him back. But who knows? Maybe in a big finale type moment. I feel like my biggest denial on Flag actually being killed in that scene is like, I just think you're losing out on a lot of juicy substance of having like one of the creature commandos be the one that like like murders him, not just like Clayface. I don't know. It just seems like something that's like really off to the side, like a total third party type entity here. There's no like major other characters that are like around this moment. So like if he just dies off screen, I just feel like they're missing out on a lot of stuff there. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, if I'm a betting man, I'll say no. He's not dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm hoping that that is the case with Clayface. That really caught me off guard. I was not expecting that, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because this is the DCU. Travis is reaming me out about it because I was kind of not really well versed in how the universes were, but this is the DCU, and so technically we're getting a Clayface movie upcoming, and so that means that this is the Clayface of that movie, right?
I I want to say no, but I I guess that would work.
Because this is technically like,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far
you're
as
right.
my mind kind of wraps around it, yeah, we're dealing with like this is the oh my gosh, Corn Sweat Superman and the
Mm-hmm.
Batman. We don't know who he is yet, and we have
That's
all
right.
these familiar characters, and so yeah, I think this is, and maybe that movie will be a prequel leading up to this kind of scenario. I don't know, but yeah, there you
It
go. So
it just seems like, and we kind of did a newscast on this topic already, so go check that out if you want further discussion on the subject there. But I just feel like to have a full movie on like this version of a Clayface, it's just a lot less appealing to me than if it is the more like kind of version that we got from Batman Cape Crusader style, where he's just more of like a human character, that's just
you
like
don't want
shifting
the
his face around.
Xbox living on his couch
Well,
talking
he's
about
just like a big
lesbians.
golem monster, right? Like how do
Yeah.
I follow a whole movie around this golem monster and like really feel attached to him? So yeah, I'll wait and see. But if that is the reality that we're living in, I definitely, I'm not gonna say red flags, maybe some yellow flags around that whole idea of what that movie would be. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's again, it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it until they said it, like Clayface, and yeah, just playing Xbox and talking about them as Skura lesbians and all this crazy shit. But I'm curious to see who the employer is and why this person is kind of like trying to
Yeah.
manipulate to try and kill the princess, and it seems like there's a bigger story here. I'm glad that the princess, that whole kind of possibility, is fake, and that
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to. Well, yeah, I'm pretty confident that it is fake, and this is a whole entire setup.
Yeah. No, it seems like it's definitely at least dramatized from what the reality could be, but I still think that the end result could be like her nation at war with other people, just with how extreme she kind of feels at the end of it, right? She's like, all right, we got to kill all these creature commandos, and she just seems a lot more extreme and yeah, just ready to go out for blood than she's kind of ever felt throughout the whole episode. So I also feel like there's a lot more just that maybe that she hasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Some ulterior motives, like
Mm.
just something that hasn't really been revealed yet.
Yeah, and I think so. I mean, she's definitely at the end of the episode, I felt like there was something going on there with her, and but again, she's for some reason just infatuated with Flag, and yeah, there's just such a weird relationship between the two of them there. Uh, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see how that kind of unfolds and what her real goals are, because I feel like her army is completely decimated because she was dealing with that chick and those insurgents who were obliterating the army and attacking the castle. And now here, like the bride and Phosphorus are just fucking annihilating the army because Phosphorus, which what a wild execution when he takes his clothes off and he just like throws the birds up and the tank just drives through him and like his birds, like his middle fingers just go through the two drivers of the tank and like just incinerates through them. Like what a crazy visualization. uh so I'm yeah, I was super down with that whole fight scene. That was a lot of fun. And poor Alexi just what does he say? Like, oh, you want me to drive brake car and all this kind of stuff. Like he was not good at bullshitting, and he paid the price. There's a
You
lot of
don't want
graphic shots.
you don't want Dr. Phosphorus in the in the back seat if you're an Uber driver.
You
Um,
really don't.
yeah, that was a pretty visceral scene. Um, where was I gonna go next? Anything else kind of on just what happened there? I was gonna mention like the Frankenstein flashback stuff.
No, get into it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, so for me again, this is kind of what I was alluding to early on, where it's not like it was bad by any means, but I just think I'm kind of okay if we don't get any more Frankenstein flashback stuff. And honestly, I feel like this might have been even one too many. I would have been okay if we just had what we had. I think it was episode 1 with the flashbacks around the character. Like David Harbour's performance is good. I like his line delivery. I like seeing him just kind of get somewhat of a bond with this elderly woman who's blind and her cute little dog there, but really it's just like by the end of this it's like, okay, no, he's just a monster, and like there is no real humanity in there. Like I guess he has human tendencies in some ways where he's just like a total hopeless romantic, but I don't know, it just seems like his moral grounds are just with the obsession of the bride, and I don't need any more flashbacks of just us getting to that end result with that, but yeah, I don't know. It's a sad way to end that sequence when he just murders the lady and goes off because he's just obsessed with getting the bride to be in love with him. But just that trait, like I'm liking more maybe the comedic spin on that obsession as opposed to this like dramatic emotional stuff and like spending flashbacks on it. So long-winded way of saying it's just getting a little too old for me. I think it's funny when he's with Flag, and he's talking about, like, did you mention me? Did you mention how awesome I am? And like maybe the bride will hear it and then she'll be impressed. Like I do love all that stuff, but I also like that because it's not just like the main jokes that are dropping. Like it is used sparingly. But then yeah, just what I've already said about the flashback, I wasn't the biggest fan of. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, the flashback, I thought it was good enough. It caught me off guard that the woman was like, I don't want to be alone, don't want to be alone, and he's like, I'm not gonna leave you alone, and just kills her. Like, god damn. I thought it was the same old lady who had the phone from like his guard earlier on, but that's apparently not the case because we saw that old lady that was working for him, and she had the cell phone with like the Zac Efron background wallpaper or something like that, but.
Yeah.
In this case, though, no, it's a different relationship, and I like that they had this great relationship. But no, she dies, she eats it. That's very unfortunate, but yeah, he does crack me up because he has such a young adolescent mentality, and man, when Flag is on the phone trying to call him the princess and he's just Frank is just insinuating, oh, like just put a good word for me, yada yada yada, and finally when Flag just covers the input part of the phone and he's like, Frank, shut the fuck up. That just really got to me. So I think there's a little bit more that we can kind of like pull out and pull off from that in a humorous way. So I'm down for it. I'm down to see where we go with it, but yeah, that's probably my only real highlight is just their relationship and their dynamic, and so I'm excited to see a little bit more of that because it's definitely working for me. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's about it. I don't think there's really anything else really to this episode. I mean, aside from just the action and then the flashbacks with Frank, it's pretty cut and dry. But again, for
Yeah.
me, it was exciting, and I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely just feels like a step in the road, to get to our next destination on the adventure, which I guess that's every episode. But this one just wasn't as special for me. But who knows? I am still looking forward to what's going to happen. They're setting some good things up, and yeah, just really showcasing some of the power levels of these characters. I think is always great to see because Dr. Phosphorus, like he's always been around, but I feel like this was like his pop off episode where you're really like, oh my god, this character is like incredibly overpowered. Like when he just walks through that tank,
That
and
was
just
so
just
good.
melts those chaps, and yeah, just a brutal way to go, and really just emphasizing that like, yeah, these are monsters. These are just murdering hundreds of people here. The bride included, and yeah, no, it's pretty wild to see, but.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 episodes left. It's coming to an end.
2 episodes left. Yeah, penultimate next week.
Mm-hmm.
Travis's favorite word, but yeah, we'll be there and we will deliver the review for you. So, till then, everyone, you can tune back in because again, we're going to be recording live right now, Skeleton Crew and Dexter Original Sin. But those episodes will be dropping on our main feed, spaced out over this coming weekend. So yeah, we will see you in the search bar. Unless you had anything else you wanted to end on.
Nope,
No.
you got it.
Okay. All right. See you later.